Hello, everybody.
Hello again.
It's Nurse Renee,
And Nurse Jackie.
and welcome to
We Talk.
So, on today's episode, we have a very interesting topic.
Yes.
And Jackie will tell us what our topic is.
Okay, so today the topic is should marijuana users conceal and carry?
Yes.
So, very interesting topic. And we're going to talk to you about some of the laws. And, of course, you know Renee is pro, and
Yes.
I am always con. Although I'm a truthful con. But anyway, so we have this again. This is a very good topic, and I love it. Just wanting to, what do you think, guys? And again, we really want your feedback.
Yes.
To just let us know how you feel about our topics. But today we think this is a very interesting one, and again, we have some information that we think is important. Now, for one, I say no. Marijuana users should not be allowed to conceal and carry. As a matter of fact, it all ties into the federal government, where they have not legalized or decriminalized the use of marijuana, weed, pot, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, reefer, however whatever drugs. What's another one? Ganja. This is a variety of names. But anyway, the federal government has not legalized it because they classified it as a Schedule 1 drug.
Yes.
And everybody, well, maybe you don't know, but Schedule 1 drugs and substances, they're defined as the drugs with currently they're not acceptable as medicinal.
Yes.
So they have no medical use at all, but they do carry a high potential for abuse, whether it's psychological or physical abuse. So this marijuana, because of the THC, falls into that class of drugs, of Schedule 1.
Yes.
And therefore it is illegal federal wise, for people to consume it, smoke it, whichever way, ingest it, inhale it, however you shoot it up, whatever. I don't know if you do that, but you can't even grow it. It's against the federal law.
Yes.
But of course, the federal law gives the states the autonomy to have some laws, as long as it does not violate anyone's constitutional right.
Yes.
So, so certain states have legalized the recreational usage as well as the medicinal usage of marijuana, weed, pot, grass, ganja, reefer.
Yeah.
So certain states have legalized it. So now back to our question: should marijuana users be allowed to conceal and carry? I say no. I agree with the federal government. And Nurse Renee is laughing at me. But the reason why I feel like that is because of the it's in the same class as heroin, meth, quaaludes, LSD, and those are mind altering.
Yes.
What do you call it? What am I trying to say? They're mind altering substances.
Yes.
And they central nervous system depressants.
Yes.
It's not a stimulant like cocaine, and I'm not for cocaine either. I'm just saying it's not a stimulant or hyper. They get you hyper, although it makes you giddy.
Yes.
It makes you laugh. But it's a central nervous system depressant, and anything that depresses your central nervous system slows you down.
Yes.
But at the same time, by it being a Schedule 1 drug, is looked at as mind altering.
Yes.
So I don't want somebody.
Value.
I don't think a person that has had some encounter with a mind-altering drug should be walking around or driving around with a firearm. So some of those things, last couple weeks ago, we talked about some of the effects and that it gives and it's an anxiety. It can cause people to hallucinate,
Yes.
become paranoid.
Yes.
So definitely, we don't want people walking around, being firearm owners, or carrying guns, having had contact with marijuana.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give it over to Nurse Renee for right now. But we'll come back and talk about some of the laws if she doesn't get into that portion as she speaks. So take it away, Nurse Renee.
Okay, thank you, Nurse Jackie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So like Nurse Jackie was saying, marijuana is still illegal at the federal level, despite what your state says. Your state does, if it is legalized medically and recreationally, then it doesn't override what the federal government is saying.
Right.
And I will get into all the states that are legal recreationally and medicinally, but I think it might be too many because I think it's like 30. So that might be too many states to name. But if you know what, me and Jackie, we may just do something to let you guys know which states have legalized. I can tell you that Illinois is number 11 that has recently, as of January 1st, 2020, we have now legalized it medically and recreationally. So yay, Illinois.
I'm moving to Indiana.
No, oh no. Way to go, Illinois. We moving on up. But the reason why I think that people who own firearms or have a conceal and carry FOID card, I'm not super familiar with the FOID card. I do know that in Illinois we have to have a FOID card to purchase our firearms.
Yes, you do.
It's better if we take the course so that we can be prepared. And I know Nurse Jackie has recently taken that course.
Oh, yes.
She's learned a lot.
A lot.
And it seems interesting, but I'm personally scared of guns. So I cannot, I'm scared. So maybe one day I won't be, but today I'm scared. But I think that people own guns right now who potentially are FOID card holders or gun possessors already currently, and we just don't know about it because we don't know what people do inside of their home, and we don't know what people have inside of their homes. And just like driving in the car, we don't know if people have marijuana driving in the car, and you can be in trouble.
Yes.
And be an accessory if I'm driving and I have cannabis or weed or marijuana or my pot, and you in my car.
Yes.
And we get pulled over. We could both be in trouble.
Yes.
And be arrested because we shouldn't have that, especially if it's out. And so, and if it's over the legal amount. So, which I believe is an ounce. You cannot have more than an ounce, but it has to be secured in your car. So it has to be in the glove box or the little compartment next to your steering wheel. But I disagree with this law. I think that I'm going to read what I read. And
No, wait, what law?
Why. The law is the Gun Control Act of 1968.
Oh, 68. Okay.
Which is the federal law that regulates the firearm industry and firearm owners. And what I'm going to read to you is what the federal government had to say. And what it says is, yes, marijuana is considered a depressant under the Schedule 1 drug, and that it doesn't have a benefit. But it says that the Federal Law Act, the Gun Control Act of 1968 says that any unlawful user of a controlled substance is prohibited from purchasing or owning a gun.
Rightfully so.
Because marijuana is a Schedule 1 controlled substance under federal law. So that means for us, no matter what our great state of Illinois, shout out to Illinois number 11. I keep saying that. But no matter what, our Governor Pritzker, no matter what he says, no matter what laws we create, we still have to be abided by the federal government. And so I just feel like if you need cannabis for your medical issue, if it's helping you get over whatever you need to be getting over, if it's helping you, and you have a gun, you're a law-abiding citizen. you don't have a criminal record, you don't have a an active open, criminal case, civil case, whatever. You don't have anything open against you. You are just trying to help yourself feel better. So why would we say that you're breaking the law in order to help yourself feel better, but then say that you're going to be an irresponsible gun user or a firearm carrier or a FOIA car owner? You went through class, you learned the laws, you learned how to be responsible with your firearm. So I feel like as adults, we go to work every day because we know we have to pay our bills. And so why can't it be the same with the guns? You have been given this course. You have taken this course. You know what the law says. You know how you have to behave. So what does cannabis have to do with you still being responsible for that gun or having that firearm? I just think it's really it's a sad thing because it almost puts you in the mind that you're acting in your minority. And I kind of dislike the word minority because what it means is that you cannot think for yourself. You need someone of a higher level to think for you. And that's why I don't like the word when they call black people or brown people minorities. That means that we always need supervision. And we don't need supervision. Like, we are adults and we know how to behave in a what is it when you're civilized society?
Mm-hmm.
We know how to be civilized. So I just think that it should be, the federal government should at least deschedule it and take it off of the firearm list. Because
no.
shaking her head. Because I feel like people can be responsible. I do.
I agree. I agree to a certain extent about the responsibility, especially for a person that, where you say that the medical purposes, where marijuana is being used for medicinal purposes, and these people are gun owners.
Yes.
They possess firearms.
Yes.
However, there's no way to determine because it's a Schedule 1 drug, it's classified like that, and those types of drugs are mind altering.
Yes.
So yes, it's helping relieve this pain or this whatever it's relieving. Yes, it's helping.
Yes.
But at the same time, the effects, they're looking at the effects. So here's something that I found. It talks about the United States Code Title 18, Section 922G.
Okay.
It makes it unlawful for certain individuals. Now, it does say certain individuals to ship, transport, possess, or receive any firearm or ammunition with the required interstate commerce nexus. Prohibited classes include convicted felons, fugitives from justice, unlawful users or addicts of controlled substances. And then it gives this paragraph, mental defectives, which is one of the things that they're saying that they feel, because it's a class 1.
Yes.
And that's why the federal government is not legalizing it,
yes,
because it's a class 1. And one of the descriptives is called mental defectives. So they feel as if, and I agree, that the THC is damaging to the brain.
Yes.
So they have to classify everybody, even though the people that use it for medicinal purposes are law-abiding citizens. They're only using it to try to get themselves right. Now, don't nobody call and write me saying, well, alcohol, I know what alcohol does. We're not talking alcohol today. We're strictly talking marijuana.
Yes.
So don't try to take me off my square, because I'm not going to answer you if you do. I love you, but I will not answer you, because my square is marijuana, not alcohol.
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, that title, it classifies and it strictly talks to unlawful citizens, but at the same time, they have no way of knowing. Today, Jackie, you're using your marijuana to help control your ill effects of whatever the illness is. And it helps you because your doctor has recommended, Nurse Jackie, that you consume medical marijuana, which not me. I'm just using myself because I won't offend myself.
Yeah.
So, but how can they say that at what point will I not go, become what they consider mental defective, that this will not have an
effect on your ability to keep your mind to use your gun.
And at the same time, will I be as able to aim? Like, let's say if I get into a gunfight, will I go half cocked and just shoot up the town like in Tombstone? Yes, the Cowboys. So that gang, remember that gang in Tombstone, the Cowboys, and will I go half cock and just start shooting up? Will I? Am I going to be able to aim straight? Yeah. Am I going to be as on point? Things that I have ingested or smoked or inhaled or eaten. This mind altering. This mind altering substance. So so I think that's why they just straight across the board, anybody. And you can lose if you are a firearm owner.
Yes.
If you possess a FOID card, if you are a concealed carrier, if you go to the dispensaries and use your ID, they will, and because it pings the government, they watch every day to see if you are seen in the dispensary and considered to be addicted.
Yes.
The federal agents will come to your door and request your firearm. Yes, they will. They will first revoke your cards, your FOID and concealed carry, and then they will come to your house and require or request that you hand over your weapon. So.
Okay. Oh, I have a lot to say about what Nurse Jackie just said. Okay, so let's talk about this mental
I'm not handing over
altering.
my weapon to nobody. So I'm not dealing with this marijuana stuff.
And see, I think, the first thing we need to do is get rid of the stigma. I think that is very important. And I think we need to learn how our bodies absorb this plant. Because I think we get it. I think we get it. I think we're so used to listening to it being called a drug, and it's really a plant.
It's a drug, Renee. It's a plant, but it has the drug effects.
But isn't God amazing?
Yes, He is.
Because He created that to help us be well.
Tobacco is a plant.
Okay,
my sister used to say,
tobacco,
right, you're right, okay. My sister used to always say, God made this. My sister was a weed head. Rest in peace, Tiny. My sister loved her marijuana.
Yes.
At the time, it was illegal, and if she had gotten caught, she would have been in jail. But she would get up and smoke. But I watched my sister, I said this before, I watched my sister decline later on because she smoked every day.
Every day.
She was addicted. But
she was not addicted. She was making herself function.
But she's dead.
So gonna die.
I know, but what I'm saying is, she always said that. I don't want to take you away from what you're saying. God made this.
Yes, He
this
did.
Is a plant. Okay,
yes,
go ahead. Go ahead.
He did.
He did.
So okay, so let's stay there with the mind altering part about it.
Okay.
Yes, marijuana does have the ability to alter your mind depending on how you consume it because of the THC. That is a fact. That is true. We are not here to dispute that. But THC is not legal. And so we are operating off of the hemp portion of the plant, which usually has less than 0.3% in it because of the way that the hemp grows. So you should not be consuming more than 0.3% if you are doing it recreationally. Now, if you have a doctor that recommends you need more THC for whatever reason, maybe you need help with sleeping, maybe you need help with anything, whatever they're saying that you need it for, because I don't want to we don't want to throw out diagnoses
Right.
because we don't want to, we don't diagnose. That's not what we do. So whatever the doctor recommends, you have your higher level of THC. Now you're getting into your marijuana, which is why people were going to get the marijuana cards. So it does have the potential to, of course, alter your mind depending on the way you take it, which is usually smoking. But it is true that even if you took an edible, such as a gummy, depending on the THC level, that can have a mind-altering effect too. However, I would like to use the analogy because Jackie said if you can't aim straight because you have a depressant that has altered your brain and it kind of mellowed you out and made you kind of
off balance.
It makes you slower.
Mm-hmm.
So I can use, because we're nurses and we have worked anywhere from a 12 to a 16-hour shift, maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times in a week. What is the difference between I'm getting off? I've worked at the hospital for 48 hours. So I worked 12 hours a day for the last 4 days. And today is the 5th day. I worked for 8 hours and I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm not doing 12. I'm leaving. I'm going home. Lord forbid somebody runs up on me when I've just worked 48 to 60 hours in that week. And somebody walks up on me. I'm walking to the car and I'm so tired because, as we know as nurses, and any job, truck drivers, certain jobs, you're just tired. And somebody runs up on you and they say, give me all your stuff. Okay? Lord forbid, but they just run up on you and they try to, they tell you, give me all your stuff. They say that to you. Now, I would argue that because my sleep is definitely off, because I don't get the privilege of working the morning shift because my hospital needed me to work the night shift. So I work 7P to 7A. And I've been up all night, and the cardiologist will explain to you that if you work, they call it the graveyard shift for a reason, because that 11 to 7 shift, it does something to your heart. And what it does is it makes you, it throws off your circadian rhythm in the brain. It does all kinds of things working at 11 to 7. So you work 7P to 7A for 4 days of a week. Somebody runs up on you and say, give me all your stuff. You are a concealed carry. You're like, oh my gosh, no, please stop. You do all of your triggers to make them leave you alone, but they just are coming at you. You're sleep deprived, basically. Are you still saying that you have the potential to have that same ability to aim straight?
I do. Because now, the reason I said that is because I feel like this is because, again, the marijuana has that. Now I have to bring in alcohol just for a moment. Okay. Marijuana has a similar effect on the brain as alcohol. It's a central nervous system depressant, and it slows you down. So if you were inebriated from alcohol, and that same thing happened to you, you're off. You're just off because you're drunk. It's the same. Like when the police, you would think a person that got pulled over from the police, the fear.
Yes.
But it cannot. The fear does not give them that fight or flight response. Right. So because they're drunk, you can't override. The liver has not toxified or detoxified that alcohol that's in the system. Hasn't broken it down yet. So, well, in this case where you're sleepy, you worked long, and someone runs up on you, that adrenergic receptors. They kick in, that adrenaline kicks in, that epinephrine kicks in, and you get that fight or flight response right quick. It's different because you're not. It's the same as if you're anesthetized going to surgery. Some people fight the anesthesia, but they eventually have to go out because it's overpowering the system. That's what the marijuana effect is, as opposed to the sleep deprivation. Run up on me after 2, 3, 4, 12-hour shifts, that fight or flight kicks in, and then I'm ready for the gunfight. No. Let me clarify. I'm ready to defend myself. Yes. So I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference there with the adrenergic response. Thank you.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I think there's a difference there.
I don't.
I know.
I don't.
I know.
I don't. Because if you, I just don't. I don't. But it's okay.
I know.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, that's what we're here
That's
to
why
do.
we are here. Yep. Because to me, if you are sleepy, I have been sleepy, and sometimes you are just like, what? And somebody, it actually might make me angry that you done walked up on me, and I almost would think I'd rather fight you than pull out my gun because I can't believe I done worked all these hours and you come and saying do this, and it's like I'm too tired to even argue with you, much less pull out my gun and shoot you. I might forget I have it, and we just might have to go
school. Heads up, as they say.
Yes, we don't have time for the gun pulling, but I disagree, and I think that's why our show is so good, because we can offer different opinions and scenarios to help people understand. But also, you said the addictive purposes. It will, over time, it will allow people to become addicted to marijuana. The difference between, and I'll bring up alcohol too, just for a second.
Okay.
The difference between marijuana and alcohol is nobody has ever died from marijuana. Nobody has ever died. Now, I know what y'all gonna say. No. Those vape pens and the people died from the vape pens, and they got in the lungs and they're dead. That is not true cannabis. That's not true weed.
That was the vitamin E.
Yes, that stuff is laced with things that you have no business ingesting, and that's where your chemistry comes in at. And so that's a little bit detailed. What I'll just say to keep it, basic and where everybody can understand is that vitamin E is never meant to be inhaled. You cannot eat, digest that. You just cannot. It's the chemistry of it. The lungs cannot handle that. The lungs are made to hold oxygen and carbon dioxide. That's it. And that is I don't want to get too deep, but it's the respiratory system, and it's how you breathe, and that's how you expire. Right. So you inhale your air and then you exhale your air. If
CO2,
your lungs,
carbon dioxide.
Right. If your lungs are
at the alveolar exchange. No.
Yeah, okay, right. Ooh, come on with the medical terminology, but if your lung, if the cilia, which is basically like it's
the little hairs.
Yeah, it pushes everything up and out of your lung if it's working properly. When that gets damaged or it gets inflamed, if it just gets any out of balance, anything can make it irritated. It won't do its job properly, which interferes with your ability to cough. It just does a lot. So, in knowing that vitamin E, it doesn't have a place in your lungs. So when they put that in your cartridge or your vape pen, your lung is like, hey, I don't have space for that. And
oil.
Then that oil will melt and it
sit
just
on it. Yeah,
it'll sit there, and that cilia won't know what to do with it, and you basically suffocate. So it's terrible. That's not real marijuana. So we want to be clear about what we say and what we alarm people about, because it's just not true cannabis. And what we are talking about true cannabis, like cannabis grown from the ground. It doesn't have any pesticides on it. It doesn't have any mold. It's a perfect plant. It grew in optimal temperature. It is perfect for consumption. And that's what we talk about when we talk about cannabis on our podcast. That's what we want to make sure everybody knows. But I think me and Jackie,
you were talking about nobody ever died from.
Yeah, nobody died from marijuana.
But I think they have. I think it is showing up in other issues like alcohol destroys the liver.
Yes.
But while it's hardening the liver, it's causing your brain.
Yes,
people, you're so addicted to it that you can't come off of it cold turkey. Yes. You have to go get the vitamin. What do you call it? Banana bag. Yes. You have to have help withdrawing from the alcohol. Yes. I think you have to have the help withdrawing from the marijuana too, because the properties that's in it. But to go back to the alcohol is, so while it's hardening your liver, it's destroying your brain, it's slowing you down, it's just messing up all over. You get the varices, it's thinning out your blood because otherwise it's messing up your liver.
Yes.
So you can't clot like you should. So they
What
die
does that
of.
mean when we can't clot?
You can't stop bleeding. Your
Okay.
blood don't clot like it should.
Yes.
To keep you from bleeding out.
Yes.
And so, they die. People alcoholics when they die from the effects
Yes.
of
The
alcohol abuse. So people die from the effects of marijuana abuse.
No.
No. She said that like she was my mother.
I'm sorry.
And so it's just not. It hasn't been heavily documented like alcohol. Yeah, but it tears people. It tears you up.
No, it won't. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not just saying it. Your body has an endocannabinoid system. Don't forget that alcohol.
Right,
is
I
poison.
remember that.
Alcohol is poison. If you look at the back of your vodka and tequila,
Well, it's the alcohol that they're using. How they process it now and
Yes.
how they make it.
Yes.
That's killing it because they're not
Same with
allowing.
marijuana.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why you just don't.
But that's not
because
marijuana
you're
that
not
we want.
because they're not allowing it to. They're not gonna allow it to grow like it should. People, when you buy that, they're putting all kinds of stuff. Some people, okay, they're putting all kinds of stuff on marijuana.
Yes.
They got the synthetic marijuana out now, but people are putting all kinds of stuff on the marijuana. And I don't care if it's a dispensary. Now you can put your hands on somebody.
Yes.
When I say put your hands on somebody, I don't mean violently.
Yes.
Now, at least with these dispensaries, and I'm not saying I'm in agreement with the dispensaries or marijuana, but at least with the dispensaries, you get a bad batch, you can put your hands out, and they're proof that I got it from you because you uploaded my ID.
Yes.
So at least that way you could put your hand. If they start
It's
messing
regulated.
it right and trying to taint it to make it. Cut it to make however they do, but anyway, so that I would say that's the only good thing about it. But I still say THC is no good. It damages the brains. It damages the cilia. It damages everything over a period of time, just like alcohol does.
No.
So
I promise it won't. I'm saying it because your body. Oh my God, y'all! We've been talking for so long. We're going to have to wrap this up, Jackie.
well,
I think we can
let's
this
do
all
part
night.
2
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
We're gonna come back, guys. We're gonna come back with
y'all
this.
Give us y'all feedback.
Give us your feedback and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Be nice now.
Please,
Be nice. We will not allow any disrespect.
Yes.
We're not here to disrespect you. We're here to help
Yes.
educate you and help. You can educate us. So we're
Please.
looking for some doctors to come on and tell us about the things that we're missing.
Yes.
And what we could do better or what we could go learn.
Yeah.
So we accept from all walks of life. So let us know. Subscribe. Don't forget.
Please.
Let us know how you feel. So we're gonna bring this back as a part 2.
Okay. I had fun.
And again, don't be nice because I clap back. No, just kidding.
That's why I love Jack. She tells the truth.
So until next time.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to us. And don't forget, I'm Nurse Jackie.
I'm Nurse Renee.
And we talk.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.